I ain't gonna lie, I don't care how down bad in life I am, I will never get admitted to the psych ward.
As a psychiatrist, seeing this video is a little heartbreaking, but maybe let me break down a few things. Can terrible things happen in a psych ward? Yes. Can terrible things happen in any hospital, any medical facility? Yeah. And there's a sad statement that we sometimes come across in healthcare, which is your zip code will tell you more about your health than your genetic code. Where you go for care, unfortunately, makes a big difference. It's going to be a very different experience if you're one place that the zip code happens to be with more resources versus a place where it doesn't. That's the first thing. The second thing is that there are different kinds of psych wards. There's a kind of psych ward where everybody in there is in there against their will, and they maybe happen to be struggling with what we call serious and persistent mental illness. These are things like schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, where a person may not know what they're doing, or they may have a break with reality. So they're more likely to maybe do something that is unpredictable, or something that you may not really see coming. However, there's a different kind of psych ward where folks are in there voluntarily, or they're not committed to the hospital against their will. Oftentimes in those places, folks are dealing with depression, anxiety, kind of other mood disorders that tend to be a bit more mild, even though they're more serious as well. You know, when you're struggling with your mental health, when you're struggling with suicidal thoughts, that's very serious. But it's a very different experience than if you're dealing with psychotic symptoms where your senses are playing tricks on you. You're hearing a voice that's not there. You're seeing something no one else can see. You're smelling things no one else can smell, etc. But fam, I gotta tell you this, at the end of the day, if you're struggling with mental health, staying away from the psych ward, which is a place that can ultimately save your life, and it's only supposed to be there for that reason. It's a last resort. It's a place where you come to a place now where you might harm yourself, you might harm somebody else. It's a life-saving situation. People have come out of there and gotten their lives back. In the same way that nobody wants to just go into rehab for fun. You know, you're not trying to go into a hospital and get treated for pneumonia for kicks, but it can save your life. So I understand what my man is saying. I understand that this is not your everyday, not your average, and you gotta know what it's like. But we need to not be scared of it because it could be life-saving. And it helps maybe before a crisis happens, if I'm somebody who's struggling with mental health, what's around me? What hospitals are around me? What options do I have so I can be prepared if I need to seek out that kind of care? Where do I go? What's it going to be like? How do I prepare? You know, this is sort of like having a fire drill. Don't wait for the fire to figure out your exit plan. Have an advance. This is what we call a crisis plan too. When things are looking okay, but I'm worried about the future, that's the place to prepare, not for the moment where I'm in crisis.